What up, Heather? Good to see you. That's good for him. Said he loved Dragon Ball Z. Hell yeah, we stay up with our Super Saturdays. Welcome back, hot dogs. It's your boy Spider Pig. Y'all already know what time it is. We got more Dragon Ball content to go through and review. Shouts out to the content. It's the finale of Daima, which, hey, it's Saturday. If you ain't seen it by now, why is you clicking on other people's videos? You dig? Hell, then you want to talk about, oh, well, thanks for live for spoiling it for me. I hadn't had a chance to see it yet. But here you are up on Super Saturday, fucking with your boy. Uh, that's a good picture. I can use that later. uh, Number 14 was legendary. Shout out to my cousin. I don't know why I'm on Facebook when I'm supposed to be getting into the videos, but it's an exciting day. So let's see what pops. Let's see what pops. Let's see. Here we go. We in our chat now. Yeah, let's see what the video looking like. Looks to be all the way in screen. And let's go.
Start by talking about King Goma, a central figure in the plot of Dragon Ball Daima. We know that he is a demon and, like any king, he is extremely ambitious. Demons in general have a great desire for power, and it is no surprise that Goma is after the demonic third eye. This artifact seems to be much more than just something valuable or rare. It is a key that can unlock immense powers, which justifies Goma's great interest. But after all, why does he want this eye so much? Let's explore some possible reasons. The first and most obvious reason is the grotesque increase in power. The third eye could actually be an artifact that grants the user a significant increase in strength. Or, even more interestingly, it could be an object capable of unlocking forbidden abilities, those deadly and extremely powerful techniques that are beyond the reach of most warriors. As
Vegeta awakens Super Saiyan 4. A thrilling twist after Goku. In the latest heart-pounding episode of Dragon Ball Daima, fans are buzzing with excitement. After Goku achieved Super Saiyan 4, could Vegeta finally unleash his own Super Saiyan 4 form? With Neva's help, we might witness an epic tag team showdown. Goku and Vegeta, both in their awe-inspiring Super Saiyan 4 forms, taking on the formidable Goma. But hold on. The clock is ticking with only 2 episodes left. The chances are slim, but imagine the thrill if Goku, Vegeta, and their allies reclaim their adult forms in episode 19. Glorio's wish seems to favor Goku, adding another layer of suspense. And here's a tantalizing twist. What if Goku and Vegeta undergo a new demonic fusion using the demon Potara? This fusion could spell the end for Goma.
Spoiler alert.
Vegeta is coming to Daima. Now you're probably like, how the hell do you know that? Well, the producer of Dragon Ball Daima said that the series, Dragon Ball Daima, was specifically made for people who grew up on GT. And if you don't believe me, here it is right here. And now that you know this, what has modern Dragon Ball been doing for the last decade? They keep bringing back old stuff and things that happened in the past. Like, say for instance, they brought back Resurrection F, they brought back Frieza, the Goku Black arc, they bring back Future Trunks and Goku Black, which is if you want to be weird about it, I guess you can say it's kind of like the same thing as Baby Vegeta and Dragon Ball Super Broly. They brought back Gogeta and they brought back Broly. They're now canon. And in Dragon Ball Super Superhero, they brought back Cell Max or Cell, however you want to say it. So as you can see, they keep doing this pattern of they bring back a villain and then they slightly change and tweak. They slightly change and tweak something about it just to make it a little bit more different. like I said before, what the producer said is pretty much, Daima is pretty much a Dragon Ball GT recreation. So what happened at the end of GT? A quick little synopsis. Goku and Vegeta go Super Saiyan 4. They then need to go into Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta to beat Omega Shenron. And then they use the Super Spirit Bomb to finally finish him. And since Dragon Ball Daima is a GT creation, they're not going to do Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta this time. They're gonna do Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, like I said. And a quick little rebuttal to that argument is probably, well, why would they go into Vegeta if they have the little bugs? They made it pretty clear that when they got blasted by Goma, that Goku dropped the bugs, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty hard to find those bugs when they're underneath all that rubble and stuff. And oh wait, guess who's there with them? Oh yeah, the Supreme God, who's the weakest one there fighting, and let's be real, he's not going to serve any purpose other than to take off his little earrings and give it to Goku and Vegeta. It's like, come on, why else would he still be there in the fight with them? Like, that's literally his whole purpose right there. It's just to give him the earrings and then, oh, look, here we go, Vegeto's back, just like everything else came back in the last couple decades. And one more thing, it'd be pretty crazy if they actually do bring out Vegeta and then he fights, he has a cool moment, and then they have him defuse again because he gets beat up, and then they have to do the, like, demonic spirit bomb or something where they have to, Goku has to raise his hand and get energy from all demon worlds to defeat Goma. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happened. Now I'm saying that out loud. Yeah, they do this pattern a lot. I'd be surprised if I'm wrong about this, but hey, we just have to wait until tomorrow. This is literally less than 24 hours from me recording this, by the way. So yeah, I'd really like to see if I'm wrong about this.
He was.
Is Vegeta the best husband in Dragon Ball? Vegeta found himself a rival upon entering the Demon Realm. Hype showed his interest in Bulma, and Vegeta's sensors as her husband quickly started working. From that point onwards, Vegeta has always had an eye on Bulma. In episode 14 of the anime, right when the party was about to enter the Demon Realm, they found out that the ship was not going to endure this final leg of the journey, so all of them would have to fly. However, Bulma is the only one of them all to not have the ability to fly, and even though Hype kinda stepped in, Vegeta quickly took care of it. Without a single doubt, Vegeta just got Bulma to wrap her arms around him, and then the two of them abandoned the ship. This is just another instance of Vegeta looking after Bulma, obviously the most memorable one being his fit of rage after Beer slapped her. And this begs the question, after all he's been through...
Guys, I'm canon now! Devontae, who that is and why his transformation look like mine, but uglier. I don't know that little boy. Hell, he look like a fan of you. It's me, Dragon Ball Daima main timeline Goku. Y'all ain't seen episode 18? Dog, I don't even know what a TV or phone looks like. All I do is waste time touching tips with Krusty Crackhead universal level threats to get stronger because battle turns me on more than my wife. Instead of killing them, even though they try to brutally murder everyone I love. All I do is sip on coconut water and bathe in the blood of my enemies while using their back meat as my doormat. What? Metaphorically. Anywho, Super Saiyan 4 is canon now! Run my fade. What? So you think you're gonna become canon to the main timeline instead of mine because some dehydrated scuzzard allegedly unlocked your potential replacing my design and not run my fade? I know you be knocking down mountains with them big ass hands, Shaquille O'Neal.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined this Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the domino, and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
stakes having to now be at their absolute highest, with the Dark Masters having to currently use the Super Dragon Balls, whilst in the process of having Zalama and I attempt to retrieve them, I only hope that we are not too late, as I can't help but have a very bad feeling about what it is that I am currently sensing.
Now, with all the excitement from Daima, you know, I forgot to give y'all a little catch up on what's been happening with your boy Ryen, Demon God. Yeah, dig. We got Demon King going, the finale with that coming up later on. But then we also got some stuff cracking on with the Demon God. Shouts out to Unrelenting Gaming. Y'all know to go, as he said, check out his Patreon so y'all can see the new content before it's on YouTube. Shouts out to being ahead on the content because, hell, that keeps me with weekly posts, Super Saturdays every week. Y'all know to go check out the boys. Hell, I mean, I don't see why not, because y'all know y'all don't want to wait on me to watch it, because it'll be Saturday. But definitely will be super to watch it with your boy. This motherfucker's 36 minutes.
As our story now continues back inside of the time chamber with all four Dark Masters being shown having to use the Super Dragon Balls and having to call forth Super Shenron and making their wish for them, it was only just upon Super Shenron then shown having to look down and addressing all four Dark Masters was when Shenron then went on to quickly respond, "Very well then, what is your wish that you desire for me to go and grant? Speak now, for you have kept me waiting longer than you should, and so now what is your wish? For I will not
Part 2
be
of my
kept
green
waiting
room.
any longer, and so speak your wish now." With Toro being shown responding, "Our demands are for you to go and merge the essence and the power of the former fallen angel Myrno with the might and the power of Lord Ryen, god of the demon realm, and further having to go on to combine their powers by granting Lord Ryen dominion over Myrno's former
But I'm
glory, but
smoking
not
some
by
grade,
simply having it be
so
a
you don't
mere
have to ask that
equal.
question.
We demand for Lord Ryen
Is it because of what you're smoking?
Myrno ever was, in giving him access to all of Myrno's powers and abilities right this moment. For his nature, along with his potential, is to be amalgamated now into one. With Super Shenron then having to respond, "I am able to go and grant your wish if you choose to proceed, but I first must go and warn you that to merge the power of the fallen angel Myrno with the demon god Ryen is to introduce a very dangerous instability. For the fusion of both angelic and demonic powers has never been attempted before for good reason, for such forces are fundamentally incompatible as their very nature is destined to conflict, for there will be no telling on what may come out of such a wish in the long term after having it be granted, as I will now go on to ask you one last time on if this is something that you want me to go and carry out, for the long-term effects of having to merge such a power may end up backfiring on its host in the future, and so, will this be your final answer on what you want your wish to go and be?" With Toro being shown then having to shout, "Nonsense, Dragon, for there is no such danger that awaits Lord Ryen once his wish is granted, and so do not go and question our intentions by giving us a warning, and do as we ask for you to go and do right now, Dragon. And so now go and grant us our wish as we demand for the fallen angel Myrno and Lord Ryen's power to be merged into one right now, and so do it now before we are all out of time." Very well then, Super Shenron then went on to quickly shout, "For your wish of having me go and merge together by combining the powers along with the natures of both the fallen angel Myrno and the original god of the demon realm Ryen shall hereby now be granted." Which all the while back now in the demon realm, as Ryen was then shown having to await his wish to be granted as a spark of energy and the mysterious shadow of power were then making its way ever so closer towards Ryen, was when Ryen then went on to quickly respond, "Yes, and there it is. For at long last, the time for my ultimate ascension into going beyond the highest of the gods has finally arrived. For now I will ensure that with Myrno's power, along with his essence becoming one with my own. I will soon after go on to usher in a new utopia, the likes of which have never been seen, and with it, I will not only go far beyond my former glory in reaching new levels of strength that were never thought to be possible before, but I will finally have what I have been longing for with the very essence of all life now left within my hands to decide. And so now come forth and combine your nature along with my own, as together, Ryen continues, we will go on to carry on and together creating the new ultimate weapon of war and destruction. And so now join me. Join me into becoming one so that I may go and rule over all creation as its supreme and commanding God. All powerful, all knowing, almighty, all ruling, and all unstoppable. For the hour of my reign has finally come at last. To which, as Ryen was then shown having to undergo his metamorphosis, was when Toro then went on to quickly respond. So now quickly now, let us go and be with Lord Ryen in welcoming his new evolution, for we must show our loyalty to him and stand by his side, as we will go and hurry and chain the Super Dragon Balls in place for now, so that we may go and hurry back to ensure that they are not taken from us while we go and join Lord Ryen for this great and rare ceremony, no matter what. But wait a minute.
Heather, are you a god of destruction? That's their color in this series. Shouts out to them purple lights, though. We appreciate that, though. You dig?
Here then went on to quickly chime back in, and how are we so sure that they will remain in place by the time we arrive? And as I only go on to ask this because the last thing that we want to go and do is have us go and lose them while they remain within our possession, as Toro then went on to respond, which is why we must go and try to make this quick, because while we cannot remain where we are without watching over the Super Dragon Balls, our allegiance to Lord Ryen comes first. And so while we have the Super Dragon Balls locked in place for the time being, I can already sense the others and having to gather together, Toro continues. And so we are to go and meet with Lord Ryen as the Demon Realm gathers together to go and join him as he is about to usher in a new era for us all, as we are to go and ensure that our next wish is to be just as important as the ones that we had already made, which will only require for us all to go and use the information given to us by our elite demons in order for us to go and ensure that we do not fail as we once did. Am I understood? It's incredible that Lord Ryen's power can even be felt from all the way here while currently in the time chamber as we speak. For we are to hurry then if we don't want to go on to miss this very moment, as Jogo then went on to quickly chime back in. Yes, and while I also second this and being amazed at what we are able to sense forging from all the way within this time chamber, this is only but a testament as to what awaits those mortals and gods alike, and so let us go while the Leviathan goes and keeps guard of the Super Dragon Balls, so that way we may go and hurry and attend his ultimate transformation at once, to which as all four Dark Masters were then shown having to make their way back, was when Toro then went on to respond, yes, as am I, but there, let us go on to witness the dawn of a new era of power, for the time of Lord Ryen's leadership and the time for his rule over all life is finally here, Dark Lords, and so now come. Let us go on to take a knee in his honor, for we are proud to stand alongside you through thick and through thin, for we have waited for this very moment for a very long time, as we were there for you then, as we are here for you now, Dark Lord, for the hour of your ultimate reign now awaits us, to which as Ryen was then shown finally completing his transformation, was when Ryen then went on to quickly respond, I have waited eons to see this very moment through, especially since the very day where I was captured and imprisoned. For that nightmare I vow to never allow to happen to me again, for now that I have exactly what it was that I have been seeking, and now that I am able to become everything that I dreamt of becoming, at long last the time of my ultimate reign of unrivaled dominance is finally at hand. As a terrified Kibi then went on to quickly respond, I don't believe it. That's Lord Ryen? So this is what the power of that fallen angel feels like. Ryen then went on to address himself by having to look down at his hand by responding, for it is incredible in asking on how could Myrtle have been this powerful but yet so blinded by his pride and letting such strength just slip right
Looks like
through
he
his
got a nice
fingers
upgrade.
away.
Shouts out to them
For now
upgrades.
I understand on why he was
The
as
bad guy ain't
dangerous
afraid
as
to
he
get
was in having to
power
deal
through a
with,
wish.
for I haven't felt don't
Hey, that's one
anything
thing Goku and
remotely
Vegeta need
close
to
to what I'm
get on.
feeling
Hey,
since
hey, hey,
first
y'all.
learning
We
about the
bringing back
power
the
of the
people
Grand
that are dead.
Minister, but even
Yeah,
now,
get
I
that
am
upgrade.
hereby the first to lay claim over such a title, for I am hereby the very embodiment in wielding the might of an angel while combined with the infinite malice of the first ever demon god. But even now, I am much more than I could have ever have dreamed in becoming, for I am now far more than I ever could have hoped in having to be when I was in my prime, and that is simply because now that I have evolved myself into reaching the peak of my absolute potential, Raijin continues, with this new and rejuvenated body, I could go on to achieve anything, in which I shall, and very soon, once I go and gather together and collect all three of those configuration cubes, my destiny will at last be complete. As the Dark Master Gira then went on to quickly respond, for we are hereby honored to be present and to be here to serve you, Lord Raijin, as we are ready to go and continue your bidding, my master, with Toro having to then chime in. Yes, and now that you are at the apex of your power, the Demon Realm awaits your orders as we are hereby ready to go and continue to serve you and do as you ask for us, Lord Raijin, for we are at your service. Good, as you should, Raijin responds. Now rise, my Dark Masters, for there is still much more for us to go and do that needs to be done, for you have all done well in having to see your mission through by having to grant me the power that I sought. However, Raijin went on to then continue, because now that I have acquired the power of the mightiest angel to ever exist, only second to that of the Grand Minister, the time for our reign over all life across the multiverse is finally at hand, and now that I can see into Murno's memories through his very own perspective, there will be no doubt that we are bound to go and be challenged by those who went and waged war against him, for they too will try, as they too will ultimately fail. As Toro went on to then respond, yes, as we go on to second this, Master Raijin, and so what is it that you would want for us to go and do next? Because while we still happen to hold possession of those Super Dragon Balls, I'm afraid that there is a power that seeks them, which leaves us with little time to act if we were to go and use them again, with Raijin responding, so you say that the Super Dragon Balls are being sought after, are they? Then if the source behind this may in fact end up being on whom I suspect for this to be, while this power that I feel that is coursing through my body is still relatively new to me, Raijin continues, and while I have yet to see the full extent of the power in which I wield, I am able to sense life itself, which has grown and spread across the cosmos since my time as the god of the demon realm, but for what it is worth, it is time for us to go on to alter the annals of history so that we may go on to make sure that everything remains within our control, Raijin continues, and so I will make sure to go to any length in order to see that we are to never fall as we once fell ever again. And while I gaze into the voids above, I know that what I'm about to go and do will require a force so powerful that one would only dream of having to wish that they can wield. However, it is because I now wield such power that such concepts are no longer dreams when I can forge them into becoming my very own reality, Raijin continues, as I will go on to do this by consuming them all, not one by one, but rather all of them together at the same time. For I will go on to plunge them all into the depths of our darkness to where there will be no light that will shine bright enough in having to guide them. As Bakara then went on to quickly respond, and what exactly do you think he means by what it is that Lord Raijin is hinting at, Toro? As I can't seem to make out by what he's trying to imply, and so what do you think this means?
I mean, it's a manga, and the more text you use, the more of your point you get across per frame. So that's why he's able to get a lot of stories done, preferably, because he'll actually include a lot of text in that one photo, so you get the actual gist of not asking so many questions at the end of the video, but you do have questions at the end of the video. You see what I'm saying? Not as many. Like when we get to the demon ending, everybody's got questions. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? They leave it to where you're supposed to want to ask questions and read the next one to get some information. Well, if there's no information at some point, you're gonna quit watching. Shout out to that D student that don't be remembering that there's gonna be somebody grading his work because hell, he's like, I put out good work. It was like a B, but you got a D on it because you didn't put in not enough information because everybody's gonna ask questions at the end anyways, like I said, but you want some questions to already be answered, so the questions that you're actually having to be asked are a little bit more intelligent because they had a little bit more information. Shout out to information. You know how we roll on Team DWC. Hey, we trade information all day, baby. Let me know if this one looked better or if I need to go ahead and zoom in a little bit because then it'll go out a little bit as far as the background darkness. But yeah, I don't know. I like both, so
with Toro responding, and I'm not quite sure, but tell us then, Master, with what it is in which you speak of, what exactly is it that you have in mind that is next, which you look forward in doing? With Ryen being shown turning his head by then responding, the answer to your question on what waits for us next is standing right before your very eyes, Toro, and as what lies ahead is simply the inevitable Dark Lords, our conquest, our domination, and the ultimate subjugation of the entire multiverse along with it. And with this newly forged power that is now coursing through my very soul, Ryen continues, I will go on to achieve what that fallen angel Murno never could have dreamt of achieving, and as I will go on to go and use his former glory to go and do it with too. And while he sought destruction, I, on the other hand, see a far greater purpose, Ryen continues, and as why should I go on to destroy the multiverse as he once wanted to go and do when we could instead go and corrupt,
plus since he's the only one doing his voice acting cast, it gives him a little bit of time to stay in that one voice. So he ain't worried about switching. But like I said, it's a longer run time on this video, so yeah, 37 minutes.
Because while Murno's flaw was his narrow-minded vision of absolute destruction and rulership of nothing, Ryen continues, I, on the other hand, am not that short-sighted. For the multiverse is but a fragile tapestry which was woven by the hands of the gods themselves, and as I will further hereby go on to take that very tapestry and plunge into eternal darkness with no end in sight. As even though what I'm about to go and attempt to go on to do is going to be difficult, I will carry on and use as much of my power as I can in order to see this through until it is finally done. Because while Murno sought out to leave nothing behind in hopes of attempting to go on and create a new kingdom through the ashes of his actions by destroying the entire multiverse, I, on the other hand, will seek to go on and do the opposite. For what is the value in ruling over nothing when I could simply have it all, Ryen questions, as I will not go on to repeat the same mistakes as he once made, for I will conquer the multiverse not by mere obliteration, but by absolute corruption. For everything will be ours until there is nothing that is left behind that is untouched by our influence, Ryen continues, for I will hereby go on to unify it under the demon realm and having to merge the multiverse's light with our shadow, and not having it be the end, but rather having it all become ours instead. And as the demon realm's essence, along with our very source of strength, will web itself and capture the 12 universes within its vices, for I intend to never let it go. And once I go on to position in having the demon realm hold dominion over the entire multiverse, Ryen continues, then not only will this web of darkness be our new home, but with our authority in place, it'll only be a matter of moments before everything is ours and ours alone. And as I not only expect for this to work within my favor, but I will go on to guarantee that it will. As a curious Gira then went on to quickly respond, oh, wait a second, you don't truly assume that Lord Ryen is going to go out of his way to go and use his power to try and merge the multiverse into one with the demon realm now, is he, Toro? No, I think he's serious, but...
Well, I mean, the manga is good because they can put as much, well, not as much, but as best work as they can on the panels because you use the manga to storyboard the movies anyway, so it's gonna be made either way it goes. So, but yeah, I mean, if you know how to movie storyboard, then yeah, using just manga panels is actually good and easy. I mean, I'd actually like to see somebody actually just do movies that are all manga style versus filming actual people. I mean, live action's cool, but hell, I mean, that actually works for me too, because like somebody said earlier, if you gotta read, that makes people think and you actually use parts of your brain. So, shout out to keeping your brain activities up. You dig? We gonna promote that in 2025. Put a positive message out there for the people somewhere. You dig? Expositions, at least the good ones. Well, I mean, of course, because with the manga, like I said, they prefer to see people on screen and talking. Hey, that's why I got to pop up on screen and talk from time to time for it to be considered a review. So if you actually want to see the full video without me pausing, y'all always know to go check out the original creator on his channel. Because that's why we review content. But yeah, I mean, people are always going to be crazy about everything. So you know how that goes. You know how that goes. But hell, he putting out the content, and I'm pretty sure coming up in the future, there's a lot of stuff that can be used. Hell, a lot of stuff that can be used. Because one thing Dragon Ball is saying is it's definitely about fan service. So shouts out to the fan service. Shouts out to Super Saiyan 4 being for the fans. You dig?
But surely you don't want to stop and reconsider this now, do you, Master Ryen Toro questions? Or wouldn't you want to go and instead test your powers out in other ways, rather than go and potentially use it all up here and now? As I only ask this because, well, there is no telling on what is about to go and happen here if you try this. As a curious Demon Kibi went on to then respond, wait, and just what in the world is he planning on doing by what he means? Is he going to go and try and collapse the entire multiverse by merging the demon realm as one with it? As an angry Ryen that went on to release his power by then shouting, no, for the only thing that I will go on to stop and reconsider is making sure that what took place in having us lose once before in allowing such things to ever go and happen to us here ever again. And so now...
Now, before Ryen was re-released, they did put Zeno to sleep and imprison the Grand Minister in an angelic prison. So, it makes no sense in the story because technically, if angels are bad, they normally get destroyed. But it was current fucking plot armor for this guy to be doing some high level shit because he is. Currently finna change a lot of things. Watch. It gets quick real fast.
Let my reign over the entire multiverse finally begin. Dimensional synchronization! Which, terrifyingly enough, within that very moment, as a gigantic burst of energy was then shown making its way out of the demon realm and now having to make its way towards the multiverse, was when the Dark Master Toro then went on to quickly chime back in. I don't believe what I'm seeing, for what we are witnessing isn't just an ordinary display of Lord Ryen's magic and power, but it is rather the manifestation of a technique which was long spoken of that was solely meant to capture and intertwine every corner of the multiverse within the threads of our dominion. As just like a spider that is weaving its web, Lord Ryen will draw the multiverse into the fold of the demon realm and having everything become one under its rule and umbrella. Wait a second, look there, above us through the skies that lie beyond the demon realm here, then went on to quickly respond. It looks as though it is actually working, as each of the 12 universes are now shown having to slowly move closer towards one another, with Lord Ryen bridging them under what looks to be that of the demon realm. But will this truly go on to work, with Dark Master Jogo having to chime in, as even I cannot believe as to what it is that I'm seeing take place here before us? But if there is anyone that can go and turn this into a reality, then it is undoubtedly Lord Ryen Jogo says, but even now I can't help but wonder on how this will change things within our favor, for I would have originally had assumed that he would go on to want to destroy the multiverse, not capture it, with Bakara having to then respond, yes, for I second this, because wouldn't it have been better for us to go and just annihilate what already exists and just go on to use the Super Dragon Balls to just go and wish for new universes to be created in their place, with Toro responding, well, no, because why start over when Lord Ryen can simply go and rule over what already
That is a
exists?
bad
Because
good
while
thing,
Myrtle
though,
sought
right?
out to go and rule over an empty multiverse with the idea of having to try and go and attempt to create new life for them to go and worship, Lord Ryen, on the other hand, appears to want to go and punish and enslave those who already exist by not only corrupting those whom we can, but by also making it very known that this was always what was intended for him to go and rule, Toro continues, as I have no doubt that with Lord Ryen's monstrous power ripping through the heavens above, he intends instead to go and make everything ours rather than having us rule over one realm such as this one instead, for it is a genius move and one that I know that will work within our favor greatly in the long run as well. I can't believe as to what I'm seeing, Demon Kibi went on to respond upon being shown gazing up towards the sky, but how could this be possible? For such things were once thought to have just been outside of anyone's ability to have to go and do so, but what if I went and allowed myself to go and be a part of? What has Lord Ryen done? With Dark Master Jogo being shown having to then quickly respond, I don't believe it, for it's almost as if I can sense the presence of our realm and now being present everywhere throughout the cosmos. Indeed, as while I second this notion that all of you share, Toro then went on to respond, not only does it now feel as though our realm has grown and expanding itself into every corner of reality, but I am only now beginning to wonder on what this means for us, especially now that it looks as though Lord Ryen's mission is finally complete, as Ryen then went on to quickly respond, and so now, at long last, it is finally done, and although such a feat could have never have been something that I could have been able to achieve without such a power, the multiverse has finally been conquered, not through destruction, but through assimilation, Ryen continues, as the demon realm now pulses through every corner of existence itself, for our very essence here is now intertwined with the fabric of reality, and as the multiverse itself is no longer theirs to go and rule, for it now belongs to us, forever fueled by the power of the demon realm, as we have now become the lifeblood of their very existence, and there is no greater power than my own, and nothing that any of those gods or mortals alike are able to go and do that could possibly go on to sever that very connection, Ryen continues, where the multiverse itself has become a conduit for the demon realm's energy by empowering our
That's
warriors
definitely something that I would be like, why you keep putting all these words in the midst of my pictures? I ain't got time for that. Hell, you can't even see all the drip. Look at the drip, though. Cause see, you got a full shot of the new upgrade over here, but like you said, there's plenty of words over there. So look at that drip kid. You see what I'm saying? Shouts out to the drip. He got it. He got it sauced up for the demon god. He says, you know what I'm saying? Slight armor. It ain't nothing major, but you know, you dig. It does look good. You know what I'm saying? And then he got what looks to be a god of destruction half fit type dress type shit going on, but you know he's still saucing it up with the dress. I mean, we don't put guys in dresses where I'm from, so you know we can tell Alex about that though. You did. We might have to make a comment like, you know, your demon guy's wearing a dress, my guy. We don't do dresses over here. Shout out to the anti-dress campaign. You know, there's people that do that, but hey, that's on them.
Is now one within our total and absolute control, with no orders of pushback possible unless they were to come from a power that is greater than Lord Ryen's, Jogo responds.
That ain't hard. All thing you gotta do is let fucking Beerus and fucking Whis fuse. Boom, there you go. Old buddy's dealt with. This is a quick fix. Quick fix. Full power Beerus fuses with fucking Whis. This guy would be one-shotted. Like, damn. Talk about some fusions. Whis, I need some power. Give me your Halo. Oh, that's that fucking bullshit, guy. Boom. But there you go. they follow
Regardless, they are
orders.
either able to go and use the Super Dragon Balls to attempt to reverse it, or if they are somehow able to possibly wield a power equal to or greater than Lord Ryen's in reversing the outcome of what it was that Lord Ryen had just done, as these would be the only possible outcomes in having to reverse this, with Ryen then having to be shown responding. And so now, from this moment forward, every battle, every conflict, and every act of defiance will occur on our terms, Ryen says, for the multiverse itself has become our ally and a weapon that ensures our victory no matter the cost. As this is only but the first stages of my ultimate and grand plan, but now that we are at the apex of power across every world that exists within the multiverse, our demon one of my grand plans from the very beginning, my Dark Lords, and now that we are all in full control of what is about to go and take place within this existing multiverse, Ryen continues, I will now go on to create the domain of my throne in giving way to my new place of rest, which will go on to sit at the very top of this newly crowned God King mountain. Ryen went on to then stick his arm up by responding, and as from the ashes of their so-called order, I will rise a monument to my supremacy, a God King mountain.
Hey, shouts out to using CapCut. You know, we got tools for a reason.
Go on to stand as the testament to our conquest and a warning to any fool who dares to try and oppose my rule. For this very mountain will not only serve as being the place where my throne lies, but it will also become a place of my domain, Ryen continues, for it will become both my fortress and battlefield, as from this very point onwards, I will go on to rule with absolute authority, as there will be no force in the multiverse that will ever dare to oppose my rule. For on this very mountain I will place upon you all my commands, for if anyone is to dare and try to challenge my power, Ryen continues, they will only go on to be met with destruction on the very top of this rock, as I do not intend for anyone to go and reach me, no matter how hard they all try to go and do so. And now to go and take my rightful place at the throne as the new king of the multiverse. Yes, and so then let us give praise unto our ultimate ruler of the multiverse. All four Dark Masters then went on to quickly shout by responding, and king of all creation throughout the cosmos, as we hereby give praise and hail the one true God among them all in giving praise to Lord Ryen. For this is now officially it. Dark Ones Toro then went on to quickly chime in by responding, and so now let us go and make our way back into going and using those Super Dragon Balls once more. For the hour of our
I mean,
rise
he
and
did
the
just
very
go on a
moment
fucking
of our
serious
reign
monologue.
will now
Like,
begin
he got an
without
audience,
anyone ever
but
coming
like at
standing
this
in our
moment, he
way
is surrounded by all the
again.
demons.
And so all hail the mighty and all-powerful Lord of the
Oh, I know.
underworld
That's why I said
and
he is
King
surrounded
of
by
the
all demons. It showed
multiverse,
him
as Ryen then went on to respond.
right here. You see that he's got an audience, so that's who the demon god is basically talking to. So he didn't just get powered up, monologue through fucking changing up the whole fucking universe. But he since everybody watching, he letting them know like, yeah, Supreme Demon King, gang. You know what I'm talking about? We finna rep it hard for the demon world. We finna make it to where demons is the most powerful things out here. So when y'all get ready to go back in these other universes, we control that. Let them know who running the things and slap whoever I said to slap. You dig? They finna be able to throw hands. The next episode I expect to be pretty much action. It's gonna be going down. There's gonna be some Super Saiyan Ultra instincts. It's gonna be some motherfucking all types of shit. Broly gonna be running around. Beerus might even get slapped. Hell, you dig? Beerus, that purple cat might get slapped. Who's slapping cats? Dragon Ball characters.
And now, finally, after eons of planning and waiting for my time to at long last be freed from that wretched prison that I was kept inside of, my long-awaited moment of absolute dominance over all life across the multiverse and merging it all into one under the Demon Realm's umbrella is finally here, Ryen says. For today will hereby mark the beginning of the end of the previously established hierarchy of the gods, and the beginning of a new order that'll be set into place with I as its overseer. As with Myrno's divine essence and power now fused within my own, Ryen continues, I am no longer just a demon god by nature, but I am now the supreme source of power, the likes of which can never be rivaled. For this very day will be remembered as the turning point of all existence, especially once I go and find and assemble all three of those configuration cubes, and finally having to go and see on what lies beyond the other side, and I will, Ryen says, for there will be no stopping me now, especially as I currently am with the power that I currently wield, and as I now go on to ascend into taking my rightful place as the...
I just noticed something. Like the character, all in all, looks like a demon that form of fucking Broly. I mean, just look at him. He's like an SS4 looking Broly. Just look, just peep the profile over there. I mean, if you didn't know any better, they look like Broly flying up to a throne and then, you know, Super Saiyan 4. But everybody's using Super Saiyan 4 for repurposing. I love it. Yeah, hell, they got to do it. That might be foreshadowing on who's gonna knock him the fuck out. The boy Broly came through, didn't appreciate none of that shit.
It'll only be a matter of time before I bleed the multiverse dry of its mightiest warriors, along with those angels whom couldn't wish to go and hold a candle to where I currently am at the moment. But this too will only be but the beginning of so much more that awaits for them, because with this newly forged body along with this newly forged power that I wield, I am now unstoppable, Ryen says, for there isn't much that needs to go and be done other than having to learn on what lies beyond on the other side once I go and gather all three of those configuration cubes, because now that I have went and plunged the entire multiverse and having the demon realm's very essence affect its laws and having to further amplify the power of my demons throughout any of the universes they go and decide to enter into, for those who stood to oppose them will not find peace in the wake of their coming destruction, Ryen continues, because now that I have made my presence known to every living creature throughout the cosmos, I have hereby taken my rightful place in now serving as their one and only true leader. And as at long last my dream of multiversal conquest has finally now been realized, which it was only back down below as Kibi was then shown having to drop on down to his knees in complete disbelief, was when Kibi went on to then quickly respond, "What have we done? For how could we have been so blind to see the truth behind what was really at stake here? For I knew that something wasn't right, but I didn't think that it would ever go and end up being anything like this. For I never would have expected for the outcome to go and be as dire as it is right now," Kibi continues. "For what a terrifyingly monstrous power. How could I have been so wrong to go and believe that what we had been fighting for was for the greater good?" Kibi questions. "For Goku was right, but now what could we go and do? For how could we ever go and try to hope to go and compete against a power like that?" Which was only within that very moment that when having to go back to Ryen, as Ryen was then shown having to take his place in
Shouts out for that perspective of
went on to quickly respond, "And with my dark masters and elite demons having to wait patiently enough, with my power and status now officially solidified as being number one above all others, I hereby issue the final command onto you all, and that is to go and carry out my will and execute a mass extinction of all life who oppose my rule. And so now go and wipe out every warrior, every deity, and every insect that you have located throughout the multiverse, as I hereby order for you to go and put an end to their miserable attempts of resistance here against me."
I like how his first order is for everybody to go catch that action. Yeah, get your ass out there and put in that work for your guy. He ain't even out there doing that. He's just gonna send them off.
Seek out and having to go and locate the three missing configuration cubes, so that the final phases of my plan can at long last be completed. And as I will hereby not only go on to learn about the truth of if there is something more that goes and lies beyond this multiverse for me to seize, but if in fact there is, then I will go and do what I must to ensure my position across all worlds which go beyond this one as its one and only true supreme God King. And to do this thanks to Murno's essence and having to now feed me with the information that I've been seeking this entire time, I will go and start with the one who
Broski's definitely a good writer though, so we'll give him that much though. He gonna write because he a writer.
However,
Hey, that boy
Why
be
go
writing them
waste my
things, boy.
time
He be
having to
dropping
go
that
to him when I
that
could simply go and have him come here to
narrative
me instead? Raijin continues. Because now that
monologue.
I know that he is one of its holders, extracting the first of the 3 cubes will be child's play. For now that the hour of my reign has finally been ushered across the multiverse, it is time for us to go and make our presence known in finishing my plans once and for all. As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Myrtle sequel, manga chapter number 26 special, then comes to a close.
Well, actually, I'll go ahead and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something very important with our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing, because not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the manga content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way that range from a variety of different things, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link everything down within the description box below and pinned comment section as well. Now I will go as far as to say that even though the situation has now grown to become far worse than it ever was, with Raijin's power now growing to unprecedented heights and having to merge his essence and power with Myrno's former glory, I'm afraid that while we are all out of time, since the Dark Masters have already went and made their wish by using the Super Dragon Balls before we could have extracted them, there is no telling on what is going to come out of this entire situation if we don't hurry and act upon it soon, because with Raijin's power now exceeding any of our previous, do not want to go and miss out on next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, and before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as also subscribing to Unreal and Gaming's channel for tons of new Dragon Ball content. So with that, we thank you all so much for watching, as we'll be seeing you all again for the next one.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal and Gaming? Also, don't forget to
Like I
follow on
said,
these
we
social media
51 minutes
platforms.
into the
Sexy
live.
son of a bitch.
Shout out to our Super
Roshi,
Saturdays. We
Silent
come in
Cell,
and do our thing
me and
every
the
week.
fans are having a moment.
Shout out to me for waking up to get it in, right?
That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch. Roshi, the fuck? God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell. And we're demonetized. Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
Or actually rewind the tape so you see what actually happens. Commercials.
had 3 completely different looking Super Saiyan 3s. The one that was most commonly used up to this point was this Goku styled one. Like every Super Saiyan 3 in Heroes used this version. Now the canon one is this one, with his hair sticking straight up rather than falling back, giving it its own unique flair, and it looks to be based on unused concept art for Super Saiyan 3 by Akira Toriyama. But there was one more. According to the GT Perfect files, Super Baby 2 is a form very similar to Super Saiyan 3, and I mean, we can see that. He has no eyebrows and a more pronounced brow ridge. His hair grows, but flops forward instead of back. So maybe we did see a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta in GT way before the other 2 versions. So Vegeta's bodies had 3 completely different Super Saiyan 3 designs. Which is your favorite?
I mean, 3 different designs for Vegeta Super Saiyan 3. But y'all didn't see it, though. You did. Y'all didn't see it.
Of a new era, and congratulations.
It ain't like I
you're
told
born
you.
as a
He
Goku.
made the video,
But
not me.
don't pop the celebratory confetti just yet, because while most babies get a chance at a peaceful life, you're thrust into a universe where every moment is a battle, every day a trial, and every day is a reminder of an endless, exhausting destiny. Welcome to a life where being the ultimate warrior isn't exactly a blessing, it's a curse. Your story doesn't start in a cozy Earth nursery. No, you were born on planet Vegeta, a brutal world where strength ruled, and kindness was a luxury only weaklings could afford. They called you Kakarot, a name as rough as the scorched battlefields you were destined to roam. From your very first cry, you were marked by fate, a fate that would see you torn from your war-torn home and sent hurtling through space toward an unsuspecting planet called Earth. Little did you know that while your birth promised a future of unimaginable strength and honor, it also came with a weighty curse, an unquenchable thirst for battle, and an insatiable hunger for challenges that would never come easy. Even as an infant, the seeds of destiny were sown, seeds that would sprout into endless battles, relentless training, and a loneliness that no victory could ever erase. Your Saiyan tail, a symbol of raw, untamed power, was both a gift and a bane. It connected you to your savage heritage, but it also made you the target of ridicule and unwanted attention. While other kids played with toys, you were busy learning how to harness an energy that could level mountains. But here's the catch. Every time you thought you'd finally mastered your power, fate threw you another curveball. Imagine this. You're in the middle of an epic sparring match between your buddies, and suddenly your tail, acting on its own primal instinct, knocks over a whole village worth of test dummies. Instead of admiration, you get a lecture on self-control. And that's just the beginning. Every quirk of your Saiyan biology was a double-edged sword, reminding you that the legacy...
See, this is why I said, I'm glad you're new, because you're asking questions. But anyways, let's see. Let me show you what we also are doing. Also, we're running OBS in the background because we're recording this for our Rumble, because that's where we show our studio quality of this video. Shouts out to the Rumble. I'll drop the link for you over there so you can actually see. You know, I do use OBS over there, so you know that's the Rumble link right there. It's available on replay, or it's down in the description somewhere. But yeah, I'm actually recording this on OBS. I just go live off my phone also, because you know it's all content. You record 3 versions of the same video, posted in multiple places, right?
As it was a promise of greatness. Growing up on Earth wasn't the idyllic childhood many imagine. While other kids learned to ride bikes and play video games, you were thrust into a relentless cycle of training and combat. Master Roshi, that eccentric old hermit with a penchant for bizarre challenges, became your mentor. His lessons were harsh, his training regimes brutal, and his sense of humor as twisted as his living quarters. Under Roshi's tutelage, every day was a lesson in pushing your limits. You learned to harness key energy, perfected the Kamehameha wave, and even managed to transform your anger into raw, explosive power. But here's the bitter irony.
Like when you go check out my
With every
other
battle
content,
won,
you'll see I
every
use
enemy
OBS a
defeated
lot,
with a
but
single earth-shattering
hell, when I do
punch,
Super
the thrill of
Saturdays,
victory dimmed
it's
in
up
a
close and
little
personal.
war. Where was the challenge?
Which is why I start
Where was
off
the
on the
spark that
camera
made
at
your
the
heart
beginning of
race?
every video.
As time marched on, the universe took notice. You became the beacon of hope, the hero who saved Earth from one catastrophe after another. From the rampaging Saiyans to the malevolent Frieza, each enemy seemed more formidable than the last, until you showed up.
Every battle, every planet-shaking fight ended with you emerging victorious, often before your opponent could even muster a proper challenge. Yet the glory was bittersweet.
Like
The universe
defeated
cheered, the media
itself.
spun your victories into myths, and everyone considered you the ultimate savior. But as the accolades poured in, a gnawing emptiness began to set in. What's the point of all this power if every fight is over before it even begins? Every victory was a reminder that your strength came at a cost. The cost of true, meaningful challenge, and the relentless isolation that followed in its wake. In the quiet moments between battles, when the cheers of adoring fans faded into an eerie silence, you were forced to confront
What
the
up
reality
with the
of your
big
existence.
homie?
The power that made you invincible also trapped you in a lonely cage.
I mean,
Friends and allies came and went,
sometimes.
each unable to bridge the chasm between your overwhelming might and their
sometimes I
own
do
fragile
artwork.
humanity.
Yes, you're right.
Vegeta, your
Heather
eternal
was trying
rival,
to con
was
me
the
into
only
saying
one
something the
who
other
truly
day.
understood the burden, but even
One
his
of these
fierce
days,
ambition couldn't fill the void
if
inside.
I get this other
You
stuff
remember
cracking,
the
I'll get
days when you
more
trained with
into
your
doing
son,
some artwork
Gohan,
for the
a
people.
time when the promise of
Meaning
legacy
I'll
made
put
you
out
feel
my own
something
manga
other
one
than
day.
empty
One day.
victory.
It's
Those
on the
moments of
to-do
laughter,
list,
of
but it's
shared
at the
struggle,
bottom.
were fleeting. Now, even the bond of family seemed overshadowed by the inescapable truth. Your life was a never-ending fight, a series of battles that left little room for genuine joy or connection. The legends that grew around you were as wild as they were unbelievable. Tabloids and fan clubs insisted that in a fit of boredom, you once knocked a rogue asteroid off course, saving an entire solar system from annihilation. Another outrageous tale claimed that you accidentally teleported an entire dimension just by laughing at one of King Kai's jokes. While these stories were entertaining to some, they only deepened the irony of your existence. Each wild rumor, each exaggerated headline underscored a painful truth. You were destined to be larger than life, but that greatness came at the expense of real, tangible challenge. Your strength was mythic, your feats legendary, but where was the genuine thrill of overcoming an adversary who could truly test you? Amid the thunderous applause and endless battles, a quiet loneliness festered within you. You were revered as Earth's mightiest warrior, yet every victory reminded you that there was no foe left that could push you to your limits.
Now, Alex, I've already shown the work because, you know, if you get to know my content, you'll see that I'm all about showing the work, baby. Hell, you can't roast me because I roast myself. You dig? Hell, shout out to the Wolfman beer we got going on. You dig? We be doing it crazy over here. He did just wake up, hit his grill, and then came and went live. So, you know, that's how we do it. Then I hit my wake and bake, all of that shit. But yeah, there's work that I've done on one of my channels. Shouts out to most of the people being my channels, like the cultivation channel, that's me. TWP Popcorn, that's also me. So you can go look on either of my channels for some artwork, specifically on TWP. But that's the problem, right? Because he got live videos, so you know, finding the artwork gonna be hard. Because I did draw up my own business logos and all that stuff recently. That's on content. So, and then any other things, I mean, you'd have to look to see. But yeah, I do show the work. So I mean, stick around. You'll see something. You'll see something.
The challenge, the pain, the satisfaction of a hard-earned win, all were lost in the blinding glare of your overwhelming power. Your legendary status meant that every conflict was resolved in a flash, a single decisive blow that left the world in awe, but you, in a constant state of yearning for something more. The burden of limitless power was not the ability to defeat any enemy, but in the realization that every adversary was a fleeting challenge, a brief spark that quickly burned out, leaving behind only the ashes of indifference. Determined to find a meaning beyond the endless cycle of trivial victories, you plunged deeper into the art of combat. You trained harder than ever, seeking out every legendary master, every forgotten martial art, in hopes of finding a technique or a challenge that could ignite the thrill of true battle. From the sacred halls of King Kai's training grounds to clandestine dojos hidden in the heart of ancient forests, you pushed your body and spirit to the brink. Yet no matter how hard you pushed, the challenge remained elusive. Every new technique, every mastered skill only served as a reminder that you were chasing an ever-receding shadow. With every transformation, whether it was the legendary Super Saiyan or the more obscure forms whispered about in the annals of Saiyan lore, the feeling of invincibility grew. Paradoxically, so did the emptiness. The more you ascended, the further you drifted from the raw, unfiltered pain that once defined the thrill of battle. Being Goku isn't just about raw power and endless battles. It's about living under the weight of a legacy that spans generations. You were raised by Grandpa Gohan, who instilled in you a love for simplicity and a boundless...
Well, given that Spider Pig's a general entertainment channel and I wake up and do Super Saturdays every week, I mean, if you have to ask the question, that's why I said you got to do your homework. That way you can do your own work. Hey, you could roast Dragon Ball all you want, because hell, I'm one of those crazy ass, let's see, I'm 39 now, so 39-year-old fans that's been watching this shit since I was in 6th grade. So, yeah, hell, you can't tell me nothing about Dragon Ball. Well, I mean, you can tell me a lot about it, because everybody has their different perspectives on it, but hell, this is where I be doing this. I don't watch no other shows. I keep up with other animes, but this is the one I actually do pay attention to and look out for.
was curiosity about the world. You learned the value of kindness, of friendship, and of fighting for a cause greater than yourself. Yet, the legacy of a Saiyan warrior is as brutal as it is noble. Over the years, you...
But speaking of which, we do have a new solo leveling review done by the homie to review. So, shout out to the homeboy Sensei, because, you know, he finally got back into solo leveling. I guess he forgot he kind of started at it, but, you know, he, been doing other stuff, because, you know, he getting it in out there in these streets. But, you know, the Dubby promotion for solo leveling is still going on, and y'all know we got our affiliate link in the chat. Shout out to having affiliate links, because you know this can be a job for people. I like to remind them YouTube is a billion-dollar industry, so come become a millionaire if nothing else. You dig? You might not hit billionaire, but you can hit billionaire. You see what I'm saying? You might miss and be 100,000 there. Hell, you might not make good content, but hell, somebody might like it 20 years from now. Then you'll be getting views then. Hell, YouTube might be forever, because you know normal TV's fading out, because who got time to watch the same BS? This was a good video though. I like his little easy animations, because he's trying to make it happen, right?
You watched your friends, your family, and even your rivals transform, evolve, and sometimes fade away, while you remained caught in an endless loop of battles. The universe celebrated you as a hero, but few ever saw the inner struggle, the loneliness of being the one who always had to win, no matter the cost. In the quiet aftermath of each victory, when the roar of the crowd dimmed into silence, you faced the most formidable opponent of all, yourself. Every victory was a double-edged sword, a triumph that reinforced your status as the strongest, yet also deepened the void within. You began to question, what is the point of power if it isolates you from the thrill of genuine challenge? How can a hero find solace when every fight ends before it truly begins? In that quiet confrontation, you realized that the true enemy wasn't the villains you vanquished. It was the relentless cycle of expectation, the burden of a legacy that left little room for growth, and the heart-wrenching loneliness of being perpetually invincible. And so, as the stars begin to pierce the twilight, one burning question lingers in the stillness, a question that challenges the very core of your endless journey. In a life forged by legendary battles and boundless power, is it possible that true fulfillment lies not in victory, but in the quest for a challenge that has yet to be discovered?
Tom from the World Tournament. After that, we were introduced to some Fist of the North Star bandits that got lost and found their way to Dragon Ball. Now, this one introduces something interesting. If you know anything about Sun Wukong, the character Goku is based on, you know he has 3 iconic tools. Goku has 2 of the 3 tools, but Toriyama never introduced the 3rd.
Now, here's something else I was going to talk about, since it's based off of Wukong. You got to know that Goku isn't based off Wukong. The Saiyans are based off of Wukong. So shout out to the Saiyans being based off of Wukong. That's the character of his story. You dig? That's why they bring in more Saiyans, and that'll be probably Toriyama's focus coming up. Shout out to him being about the Saiyans, because like I said, his personal anime that he had made, Zycor. I already done explained how that can be upgraded and updated. You dig? Yeah. Yeah, bastard child, nah. Y'all gotta remember, Goku and Vegeta have a son that they share. Shout out to the Fusion Gotenks. You dig? But we ain't gonna talk about that until we talk about it. We already talked about it, so don't hold your breath.
That tool being the sealing gourd. Here, it has the power to seal someone if they don't answer when their name is called. After being sealed, they're turned into a liquid that if someone drinks, they can steal the sealed person's power. Kinda OP, huh? Luckily, Goku is able to avoid being converted with the power pole, and turns the gourd on its owners. Goku lets the villagers keep the gourd. Shame he couldn't keep it, as this is filler. But it's not really his style to use something like that anyway. The bandits are no match for Goku, but assuming they've been using the gourd for a while, they're probably pretty strong. So, let's give them 67 and 73. Now...
Wukong.
You're making a big mistake. Where do you think you're going?
And they're like, y'all really just gonna sit here and watch this guy beat this little dude up? Like, yeah, Gohan went through it coming up. That's exactly why he does want to be a scholar. I don't like getting beat up. Oh, Bobby is strong to have to beat people up, but I'd rather not get beat up. Like, look how his dad stops him and saves him, like, not today, buddy. You done beat him the fuck up, which was not really cool, but he'll heal. Zenkai up in this bitch.
A tough guy like you should be able to face the truth.
Technically, if the Z Squad, when they knew Frieza was coming back, because he came to the planet Neck Frieza, they're like, we're not strong enough. I don't see why they wouldn't just go ahead and run the Fade right back against him. Because hell, with Dende being there for the Zenkais, y'all shoot the ones with them. But hey, before somebody dies, you gotta have somebody, hit that solar flare, so then they can swoop in and swoop them out. Use his god teleportation, because that's one of the things Dende's got coming up. Apparently, Dende's gonna have to do some training. Yeah, take Dende into the Spirit and Time room with fucking Goku, get you some training in. You, Piccolo, and fucking Dende go do some training together. That way, you seen how Neva has such swag. Well, I'm making a longer video today because we finna get into this Dragon Ball Daima finally. An hour and 12 minutes into the video, and you've only seen a little sample of Daima, but that's the suspense of the story, right? Hey, hopefully you're sitting here with me, because we going in. I'm rolling up again though, so let this keep rolling.
Characters post-superhero arc. Whis. As an angel, Whis' power is simply immense. He has complete mastery over the Ultra Instinct technique, and he's also able to rewind time. He's proven to be far stronger than Beerus as well, so there are very few that can actually overcome him. Vados. As Whis' older sister, and having trained with him before, she confidently states that she is more powerful than Whis himself. However, there's no real way to determine who would win in an all-out battle between the two of them nowadays. Grand Minister. The Grand Minister is the father of all angels, therefore it is to be understood that he most likely possesses the same abilities as each and every single one of the angels, and is simply more powerful than all of them. Zenosama, the king of all, possesses destructive capabilities unlike any other character in Dragon Ball. We've seen him destroy an entire universe in seconds, which speaks volumes about his overall power. Ryen. Where there's destruction, there's creation. But creating from absolute nothingness tends to be harder than destroying something. The fact that Ryen was able to create all universes in Dragon Ball gives him unmatched power. Dragon Ball Daima, episode
I prefer
18,
DC because I'm
Majin
old
Buu and
enough
Ku
to
are a
where
hilarious duo. After witnessing the Super
Batman
Saiyan 3
was a
transformation by
key
Goku,
coming up.
Majin Buu throws a massive cookie to his brother, which gives him a
Because,
temporary
that's
buff
how
that
I
he uses
am.
to power
Get
up
me
and imitate
prepping
Goku's
time.
Super Saiyan 3 hairstyle. Just an amazing pair. Super Saiyan 4 is
Meaning
here.
I might have lost the
Finally, after a
first fight,
very
but,
long
that
time,
made
Super
me
Saiyan
have
4 is
prep time for
finally
the next
canon.
one.
After Nema powers up Goku, the
Which is why
Saiyan
Batman
transforms
always
into what
wins
seemingly
against his
looks like
villain
the
the
Living
second
Breaker
time around,
variation
right?
of the form introduced by
They might
Dragon Ball
whoop that
Heroes.
ass,
It is simply
but
spectacular.
he gonna make that
A new
comeback.
Piranga shows up. Right at the end of the episode, Glorio summons the Demon Realm's Piranga in order to follow Arinzu's desires.
I
This
thought about
divine
that right
dragon
before
looks like
this
a
ended up
combination of both
happening.
the Namekian Piranga
I'm
as
like,
well as
man,
the
that
ultimate
dragon
Shenlong
gonna
from Dragon Ball
be
GT.
just like the
Massive
Namekian one,
cliffhanger.
but red.
Episode 18 ends with Glorio stating a wish to Piranga, although it is completely a Namekian. And we
Late
haven't the slightest clue regarding what he
prediction,
wished
like
for
the
in
day
the
that
end.
I seen
Did he
it
really
too,
betray
though.
Goku
That's
and
why I
the
was
others,
like,
or perhaps
man, I wonder
decided
what
to
that
side with
dragon
them?
gonna look like. Then I was like, probably just a red Piranga, and I was right.
Alright, Dragon Ball Daima episode 20. This is the final episode of Dragon Ball Daima.
Shout out to your boy Geeked, and y'all know to go check him out on all his
thing I did
sites.
the past couple of weeks, which is have a vague title and a vague thumbnail. So if you get notified, and you probably already know this, it won't be a spoiler. And then later on in the day, I will change the thumbnail about 5 hours or so from now. That way, the majority of people have a chance to watch the episode and they won't get spoiled. So this is the last episode of
I mean, if you was on YouTube being spoiled, why wasn't you watching the episode? Because, our job as content creators is to be fast and efficient. So when Demon was dropping on Friday mornings, why ain't you going to go watch it? Oh, you're at your normal 9 to 5 job? Cool. Why are you? You did at work. Go home and hit a Crunchyroll. Don't go YouTube because you're gonna be spoiled. You got to put in that work. Shout out to 2025. You got to do your own work to do your homework.
Daima, it's called Zenkai, which translates to either
Maximum.
full force or maximum. It's whatever you want to translate it as. It's the same type of meaning here. When we last left off, we had what might have been the most visually impressive transformation sequence we've ever seen in Dragon Ball, or at least like top 3. It was so beautiful. Yuya Takahashi deserves so much credit for doing this. Goku revealed that he can now turn Super Saiyan 4 as an adult, and that was the cliffhanger. Remember, the idea is not so much that Goku will beat Goma with the third eye. The idea is Goku has to distract him so that Piccolo or somebody else can hit him in the back of the head to knock the eye off of his forehead and decrease his power. So that's really the goal here. That's what they said in the previous episode. So before I get into the actual episode, which is coming up in a moment, click off the video now if you don't want to be spoiled. I'm going to play a brief merchandise promo for the Super Saiyan 4 merch that I dropped last week, or I think it was 2 weeks ago. Make sure you pick that up as soon as possible because they are limited. Get yours. But I'm going to play that now, and then after we come back, we're going to get into the episode, and I'll give you my thoughts in detail. Fans of Super Saiyan 4, both old and new, pick up your Then Now Forever merchandise right now in the Geekdom 101 store. Comes in various sizes and styles and different colors. Tons of colors. You can get a t-shirt, you can get a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, many different varieties, whatever you think looks best on you to commemorate the return of Super Saiyan 4, the most beloved forms in history. The link is in the description. Get yours today. The final episode of Dragon Ball Daima is called Zenkai, which translates to full force or maximum, and they get right into it. There's not even like an intro, like the opening doesn't even play. They go right into Goku versus Goma, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku as an adult versus Goma. They start going at it. This is the Sheeta cut among other animators that were in there, and it's just when it comes to just pure animation, when it comes to just pure like aesthetics, this was for certain like worthy of a Dragon Ball final battle. It didn't quite have like the back and forth seesaw storytelling that we saw from Frieza or from the Cell fight, like some of the older era Dragon Ball fights, and that's something that modern Dragon Ball's kind of been missing, is that type of storytelling where you have like multiple episodes. But when you compare it to like modern Dragon Ball standards, like for example Gogeta versus Broly, it was very similar in that they put a lot into the animation and a lot into just the action. So it's a straight up like, I want to say somewhere in the neighborhood of like 6-7 minute action sequence where Goku's fighting Goma, and Super Saiyan 4 adult Goku is going in on Goma. I mean, dude, he is beating Goma down hard. Like, Goma's never felt this kind of pain before, but of course the third eye keeps him in the fight. They start going back and forth. A lot of highlights here. Goma busts out this new technique where he creates these purple orbs and he throws them at Goku. Goku's dodging them. At one point, like, even the opening shot is a big punch to Goma's face. Very well done. He goes down. This is something that I really cannot describe through this review. Like, you just have to see it. Like, it's that visually intense. Like, it's so over the top, man, but it was so well done. They fight everywhere, and they have a lot of little references to things. Like, for example, remember that scene in Dragon Ball Super Broly that was actually a tribute to the original Broly movie where Broly grabs Goku by the head when he's in God form and mushes his head into the ice? Like, and then just throws him. There's a scene where Goku kind of punches Goma into the rocks. And actually, Goma uses his telekinetic powers to use the rocks against Goku. And that was reminiscent of some of the things that Frieza was doing. I do want to comment that when he fired the purple orbs, it looked like he was getting the power from, like, the staff. But then later, he does like a modified version where the orbs turn green and fire ki blasts at Goku, and Goku has to like dodge them, move out of the way and whatnot. Like I said, there's a lot going on. It's one of those animated sequences where you have to sort of watch it in slow-mo or pause your way through it to see all the detail of, because it was moving so damn fast. At one point, Goku powers up and starts to demolish Goma. I mean, he is just ripping him to pieces with blows, dodging Goma's hits, counterattacking, just completely annihilating him, bro. He starts to glow, which some people are going to think may have been a tribute to Ultra Instinct. I'm not so sure about that because we've seen Goku glowing like this multiple times in the past, but it certainly looks cool. At one point, he puts his arm up in the air and like lightning comes down like the Thundercats, right? And he starts to power up a Kamehameha. This is after Goku powers up. Like at first when he's powering up, for a split second, I'm like, wait, is he going to transform again? Like, it looked like that. But all he did was just elevate his ki to the max power to fire a Kamehameha. This is the most over-the-top Kamehameha we've seen in a long time. Probably since the one that Goku did on Kefla. It's up there. Goku fires this Kamehameha. It chews through Goma's purple orb energy, blasts a hole through Goma, which basically blasts a hole not only through Goma, but this Kamehameha was so powerful, it fired its way through all three of the demon worlds. So Goku made a giant hole in between Demon World 1, 2, and 3. This is insanity. This is one of the craziest feats that we've seen.
He over here done navigated the landscape, like, so now there's another path through demon worlds. You see what I'm saying? So now that we're gonna have to put up another gate for that new tunnel that Goku just dug. Yeah, you can get around quick. You dig? He gave you an express aisle. You know, Warp Sama ain't even gonna be covering it yet. Shout out to Warp Sama.
In quite some time. Like, he put a hole in the skies, man. That was wild. It got so crazy that, you know how Demon World 2 has like water, like the water, it's like the water area where it's mostly a big ocean. The water starts to like drain into Demon World 1. Like, you see the Tamagami there for like a second. That was just, it was so over the top. It might not be something that you would call multiversal tier, but for Daima standards, as far as that goes, it was insanity, and it's still worth putting up there in one of the top Kamehamehas of all time. Like, it really was just a blend of colors. So the blast goes right through Goma, puts a hole in his stomach. This is just like what happened with Piccolo, Raditz, and Goku at the beginning of DBZ. Like, the hole rips right through him. So Goma should be dead. But then the third eye starts to, like, regenerate him. Now, it's not as quick and as potent as the Majin Buu regeneration, but this just shows the third eye makes you damn near immortal. So Piccolo tries to hit Goma in the back of the head as planned. This was planned. And he goes for the blast, but Goma smacks him away. So it failed. Piccolo failed. He was unable to do it. Goma starts to power up the third eye again. And, you know, it starts to just energy everywhere. He's regenerating, lightning everywhere. He creates a force field to block everybody out from attacking him. And while all that...
Which, that makes no sense for your boy Piccolo, because, you know, shouts out to Piccolo being an ore farmer. He should have came through ore farming that Hell Zone grenade attack. You see what I'm saying? I need to hit him 3 times. So let's see. I'm going to do a mini Hell Zone. Boom. I got 1, 2, 3 of them. Boom. Right there to the back of the head at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Boom. I mean, he nerfed himself. Shout out to Piccolo, just trying to be out there talking about, man, I ain't even trying to take off my cape today, boy. I'm going to keep on the head weight, too. Shit, I ain't doing shit. I ain't out here on nothing. You did be out there not catching dubs. That's why he wasn't the good bad guy, because Piccolo's that guy that, hey, sit here and watch the kids, old man. Your ass ain't winning no way. Hell, you and Vegeta got the same power level in the story, but y'all ain't doing, well, Vegeta got to win lately, but, you know, lately, Vegeta's a secondary character, but, you know, him and Piccolo actually equal.
Of all people, outside of characters like Bulma and like Hybis, probably the weakest fighter of all of them, Majin Ku. Of all people, Majin Ku comes up from behind Goma, and he's got the book. He's got that big, thick book that Arinsu had, and he smashes the book in the back of Goma's head. And that's what knocks the third eye out. The third eye literally pops out of his head.
Majin Ku said, I whip your head, boy. The back of the steel, I whip your head, boy. Your cap will get peeled. Yeah, he came up and hit that triple tap for the win. Shout out for that dub.
Goes back to his original form, like the short form. Glorio steps on the eye, and the battle is over. This was crazy. Of all the characters, Majin Ku. Now, the one big surprise is that they did not use the fusion bugs here. I genuinely thought that the foreshadowing in episode 4, even though I had no proof, I thought that the foreshadowing in episode 4 would lead to some kind of fusion, even if it was a comedy fusion, like Ku and Do. I saw some people say they wanted Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta or Gogeta, and I told everybody to keep their expectations low, not because I knew that the fusion bugs would be like not Goku Vegeta fusion, but because I suspected it was going to be something new. But they didn't even use the bug. So to me, that's actually bad, because that type of foreshadowing and not delivering is just not something you want to do. I think that's a bad move. I knew that there were going to be some plot threads that couldn't get resolved in the last episode, because it's a regular length episode, and you just can't resolve everything in one episode. You just can't. Because there was too many unfinished plot threads. So I kind of knew that they wouldn't be able to resolve everything, but I really did not think that the bug fusion is something that they would not be able to resolve. Like, I thought that was for sure happening. Like, and I'm not the only one. I saw the comments. Everybody watching Daima knew that a fusion was coming, and there was no fusion. So, in fact, they didn't even do a comedy fusion after the fact. Like, the bugs, Goku dropped them, the bugs were just forgotten about. That was very weird and honestly kind of disappointing. So the battle is over. We see Goma, like, in this, surrounded by this purple sludge and Degasu. He gets arrested, basically, And what happens is Marva appears and she takes Degasu and Goma and does basically a demonic version of the Mafuba, which is the demonic containment wave, the evil containment wave. For sure this was a throwback to that, and traps Goma and Degasu in this little jar. That little jar right there is basically like, to me, saying that they're leaving this open for the future. I'm not saying we're going to get another season of Daima, nor am I saying for sure there's going to be another storyline where Goma and Degasu come back, but the fact that they didn't die and are just trapped in this jar, that could easily lead to a storyline later on where they come back or somebody frees them. You know, there's a lot of possibilities there. They didn't die. As I've said many times before, they were originally, I was told a while ago, before the passing of Toriyama, that Daima storylines and characters and lore would be used later on in Dragon Ball. Now, I don't know if that meant more Daima episodes or just stuff in Super, but I always thought it was going to be like a future Super storyline, which they could do. They can still do that. And, but when Toriyama passed, everything may have changed. And ultimately, that is the big sort of question, is where everything stands now, because it seems like, based on, and I have more to talk about in the episode, but it seems like based on this ending that there's more, that Toriyama may have had more in the back of his head, like more ideas, or maybe he did write them down. I don't know. Nobody knows except for the people at the tippy top. So it seems like they left a lot open for the future, but now that Toriyama passed, I don't know if and when they're going to ever get to it, if they even have anything, or if Toriyama just had it all in his head. I don't know. Like, I do not know. So then they spent some time trying to figure out who the next Grand Demon King's going to be now that Goma's gone. And of all people, it ends up being Majin Ku. And this is how Majin Ku got the cape. In one of the original videos that I did back in September, where I went into very mild Daima spoilers, I showed Majin Ku with a cape on. And that's because the image that was sent to me, he had a cape, but we didn't see the cape. Well, it makes sense. Deborah had a cape. Abura had a cape in the flashbacks. Goma had a cape. So having a cape is like having a crown in the demon realm. He is the new king of the demon realm. He goes into this like spiel where he talks about changing the demon realm and making it better. That sounded just like a politician running for office. Like, you know what I mean? It was so goofy. So of all people, Majin Ku, who's not the strongest guy, is now the king of the three demon realms. And that was kind of, again, unexpected. It was very unexpected. Toriyama always throws curveballs in these things. The lack of fusion, I think, was another curveball. Very much so. So Pansy gives Bulma one of the little crystals, the Magiite crystals or whatever, so she can take it with her. Again, it seems like they were setting something up for later with this, but I'm not sure. Then we have a conversation with Goku and Vegeta, and Vegeta asks Goku about the new transformation. Now, first of all, Goku straight up calls it Super Saiyan 4. He says Super Saiyajin 4. And he said that he continued to train after the Buu Saga, which is true. Well, he didn't say after the Buu Saga, but he continued to train, which is obvious because Vegeta did too. And he says that he always thought he had it in him, but he didn't even know. It just kind of happened, is what he said. So it feels like this is a combination of what Jordan and I were saying and training. So we obviously were saying that training didn't play a part in it because he would have been able to unlock the form on his own, but Neva's magic is what actually triggered it. So it was a combination of the two. However, there is no explanation in this episode as to why or how Goku doesn't use the form again, with the exception of him saying it just kind of happened. It almost feels like he didn't know it was going to happen, but that doesn't make sense because in the previous episode, we see him tap into it on his own. So this is, again, more unresolved plot threads. This is going to lead to canon arguments. I already see it. because people obviously want to know if this is in the same timeline as Super, why didn't we get the explanation? Why didn't we get the Supreme Kai refusing with Kibito? We didn't even see the fusion bugs at all. They left a lot of things open. In my opinion, too many things I felt they left open. And that, to me, is going to lead to some disappointment among fans. Not to mention, I really thought we were going to see Gohan in the last episode. Like, Goku goes back to Earth and he sees Gohan as an adult again. It's like, oh, there he is. You know, a brief cameo. We didn't even get that. No Gohan at all. That also surprised me. I think a lot of people are going to see this as being a disappointing ending. Now, the first part of the episode with the fight, that was glorious. I mean, that was just, you know, a very well executed final battle of Daima. But then the final 12 minutes or so, I think could have been used better and did feel a bit rushed. There were some moments we didn't see. This show really would have benefited from being even just 5 more episodes. I think it would have benefited from that. But it was what I was worried about when I was reviewing episode 13, 14, that they would not be able to fit everything in. Because if you remember, even Dragon Ball Super's last episode tried to cram a lot into that last sort of half of the episode. This felt like that too, except this didn't address a lot of things. And it did remind me of Super because I remember when I saw 131, I didn't think it was as good as 129 or 130. Well, maybe 129. 130 and 131 went well together. Here, I feel like Daima episode 18 and 19 were probably better than 20. I think that they stuck the landing on the combat portion of it and a little bit of the comedy, but some of the plot threads have been left open, and I know it's going to lead to canon debates because there are so many things that, like, didn't get wrapped up or tied into Super. Now, I had said on social media and in my streams this past weekend, if you're expecting every plot thread to be closed off in this episode, you're probably going to be disappointed. However, even I didn't expect it to be like this, where the bugs weren't even used. I thought for sure, at least for a comedy bit. But no, nothing, and that was unexpected. The other thing that was a disappointment was the explanation or lack thereof of Super Saiyan 4. So Vegeta asked Goku about the new transformation, which Goku straight up refers to as Super Saiyan 4. Like, it's called Super Saiyajin Full. Like, he straight up calls it that. And that's the only time it's ever called that in the entirety of this show. And he basically says that he underwent special training after the fight with Boo, and that it just kind of happened. However, clearly based on the visual cues, Neva had something to do with it because he unlocked the form with his magic. So I'm not really sure what the messaging is here. Like, Goku says that he did special training, did not go into what the training was or who he trained with or any of that stuff. And then when you look at episode 18, you literally see Neva using his magic to rearrange Goku's DNA. So it's very confusing that it contradicts it. I'm going to just assume that it's a combination of both. That Goku knew he had something else in him, and Neva was able to just trigger it. Goku couldn't achieve the form on his own. That's the way I'm seeing it until Neva triggered it. But there's no explanation but beyond that. Like, there's nothing else told. So either we're going to get notes or something later, or maybe nothing. Again, since the passing of Toriyama, it's very difficult to know or predict what's coming because we don't know what he left behind. Like, it's unspoken of. And that was weird. So one of the highlights here was Vegeta said, he brought back the classic line from the Majin Buu saga where he said it's a Super Saiyan bargain sale. And then Goku was like, yeah, but you got 3. So, I mean, yeah, they both transformed into new forms for them in Daima because they both trained. I mean, training is obviously part of it, but Neva didn't use his magic on Vegeta at all. And I do think, in my opinion, it was a missed opportunity for Vegeta to get Super Saiyan 4. I actually would have wanted that both of them get it, maybe through Neva's magic, but they didn't do that either. So, I don't want to criticize the episode for things that I thought were going to happen that didn't, with the exception of, like, the fusion bugs and more of an explanation of certain things. That's worth criticizing because They literally foreshadowed this all the way back in episode 4. Everyone in the fandom, every content creator, every fan was asking, are we going to get Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, Ku and Do? And I was just saying, keep your expectations low. Not because I knew there would not be a fusion. No, I said multiple times that I thought there would be. I really did, because you've got the bugs there. And someone would find the bag, even as a joke, even after the battle. Nothing. And that, to me, I thought was a mistake. I think that's a writing error. I wouldn't have written it like that. I just wouldn't have done that. So as they're leaving the demon realm, it goes to a credit roll, just like the first episode. Except on the right side, they show images of other things going on. We see a lot of Goku's friends back in their adult forms. Majin Buu, Mr. Satan, 18, Krillin. We see Trunks and Goten. Trunks is on a hoverboard, of all things. That was like the Back to the Future 2 hoverboard. So they show all this, right? They even show, like, inside of the perfume glass where Goma and Degasu are, they're playing video games. So they're passing the time. They're supposed to be trapped there for like almost 100 years or something like that. But no Gohan. Not even there did they show Gohan. The only time you see Gohan in this entire show is in the recap in episode 1 of the events of Z, when you have Ultimate Gohan against Super Buu, and in the opening when you have Goku and Gohan next to each other when they're recapping the previous events of the story. That's it. And that is also, I think, a big disappointment for Gohan fans. I wasn't sure we would see Gohan at all, but I really thought that in the last episode they would show him, even Envidel, even if it was just for a second, even if there's no dialogue. They didn't even do that. So a lot of people are going to be disappointed. I'm disappointed. I'm not upset about it. I'm not going to scream that the entire show was a waste of time, because I don't think it was. I enjoyed a lot of the episodes. I'm going to do a full breakdown of the entire series, and I'm going to do a breakdown tomorrow here on the channel. Right now in Japan is the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary of the passing of Akira Toriyama. This was not planned out, by the way. This was not something they planned out when they started Daima. It just so happens the last episode bled into the last, the anniversary of Toriyama's passing. And I'll be doing my breakdown tomorrow on the channel, going into more detail on this episode. But I'm not done. There is a post-credit scene. Now, the post-credit scene is not Beerus. It's not Moro. I saw a lot of people wanting this. I understand why they want it. They wanted to tie into Super or to tease something for the future. And I just had a feeling they weren't going to do that. And they didn't. Instead, the post-credit scene features Goku and them going back to the store in episode 4 where the fusion bugs were at. And because he wants some of the healing bugs. So they have this gag where she gives Bulma these bugs that can re-beautify her, de-age her. And she's happy about it. Then they find this jar, and what's inside the jar? Another third eye. So the big revelation here is that there are multiple third eyes out there. And this, to me, when I saw it, felt like an MCU post-credit scene from back in the day. If this felt like they are telling you, we're going to revisit this in the future. Now, again, like I said, after the passing of Toriyama, I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know what they're going to do. But it felt it could have been a gag that there's multiple third eyes, but it could also be a gag that leads to something actually serious happening with that remaining third eye, with that other third eye. So who knows how many demonic third eyes are out there now. And that's the last sort of scene of Daima right there. So it does feel like they were thinking about or planning for the future, or it was just Toriyama being silly. Either way, it can easily lead to them revisiting these characters and stories in the future. So what are my overall thoughts? Despite a lot of the plot threads being left open and some stuff being disappointing, the first part with Goma versus Goku is worth going out of your way to see. You're all going to see it anyways. It was very exciting, and that was good stuff. problem was, of course, with the pacing. My concern going back to episode 13, 14 was that they were not going to have enough time, and it looks like they didn't. But it does, like, I don't want to say this. I am not guaranteeing this, but it does feel like the end was more like a season finale than a series finale. I'm not saying there's going to be more Daima or anything, because we do not know. I do not know if there's more coming, but it felt like there was still more things they could go back to in the future. So I think it'll come down to that. If they don't, then they don't. I mean, it is what it is. But ultimately, I think episode 18 and 19 were better, and I think they could have used their time a bit more wisely. That's truthfully how I feel. So I would say the first part of the episode was a thumbs up. The last part was kind of thumbs in the middle, you know, and maybe even leaning down in some instances, because there was a lot of things they foreshadowed that did not get proper payoffs. So I'll be discussing more of that in the breakdown tomorrow and stream coming up very soon. Take care of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow.
Dragon Ball Daima, episode 19, key takeaways. Glorio sides with the Z Fighters. It was the cliffhanger introduced in episode 18, and it was finally revealed in episode 19. Glorio wished for Goku and the others to become adults once again, thus betraying Arinzu in the end. Vegeta goes Super Saiyan 3 as an adult. He did it as a kid, and he did it once again as an adult. Vegeta showed once again that he is able to use the Super Saiyan 3 state, and he was actually destroying Goma for a while. Bulma tames Vegeta. Even if Vegeta didn't want to let Goku fight, he was forced to once Bulma told him that she was not going to take a bath with him ever again otherwise. Goku goes Super Saiyan 4. Goku showed right at the end of the episode that he's able to transform into a Super Saiyan 4 while being an adult. The transformation moment is completely crazy, featuring some of the best animation in all Dragon Ball Daima. Still, Dragon Ball fans will need some explaining regarding how come this Super Saiyan 4 is never mentioned in Super.
Shouts out to the big homie. Y'all know to go check him out. I'll drop that link as soon as I get back in the chat.
When this creator decided to fuse Mortal Kombat Warriors with Dragon Ball Legends, the results were absolutely insane. First up, Ermac merged with Frieza, creating a telekinetic powerhouse with unstoppable psychic energy and deadly precision. Sub-Zero fused with Vegeta, combining icy precision with Saiyan pride to form a cold-blooded warrior with unmatched combat skills. But what came next? Even more mind-blowing. I'll show you the video in a second, but first, tap like and subscribe within 3 seconds for some good vibes coming your way tomorrow. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Now check this out. Shao Kahn merged with Broly, transforming into an absolute juggernaut of destruction and raw power. Ryen fused with Piccolo, becoming a mystical guardian with electrifying attacks. And finally Scorpion combined with Goku, forming the ultimate warrior with the fiery rage of the Netherrealm and the unstoppable spirit of a Saiyan. Which fusion blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments.
Can Vegeta become a destroyer? A user of this state gains the power of destruction. Ultra Ego is the strongest form Vegeta has appeared in. Ultra Ego changes its user's ki to become the same as that of a god of destruction, and its user's power grows without limit through instinct as their fighting spirit increases. Vegeta can become god of destruction because he is very cruel. He shows no mercy to his enemies. He kills his enemies without hesitation. Anyway, god of destruction is like that. Who does not show mercy? Because the work of god of destruction is to destroy living planets. Vegeta is the next god of destruction, capable of doing god of destruction tasks. We can guess that maybe the next god of destruction of Universe 7 is Vegeta.
And that's our videos for the day. Shout out to the what if videos. Y'all know, leave a comment if y'all want to get into one of those reviews. Like I said, we will be doing a solo leveling update because Sensei did another review, so y'all know we'll review that. When it'll be up, I don't know. We'll be on the lookout. TWP, thanks for popping in.